Hello friends, welcome to the video lessons on electronic measuring instruments. In today's class, I am going to explain about the working of function generator with block diagram. But before this discussion, let us try to recollect what we have studied in the last class. In the last class, we have studied about the block diagram of a sine or square wave with audio frequency oscillator and its working, oscillator circuit used in AFO, sine to square wave converter used in AFO, attenuator used in AFO, and then the front panel controls and specifications. The basic block diagram of a sine or square wave audio frequency oscillator consists of a sine wave oscillator, then sine to square wave converter, attenuator, and the function switch. The oscillator used is generally RC oscillator for audio frequency range, and in RC oscillators also a Wien bridge oscillator is widely used because it produces oscillations with good frequency stability and distortion less oscillations are generated. The next one is sine to square wave circuit, converter circuit. Sine to square wave converter circuit, we have seen two types of circuits. One is using operational amplifier, a Schmitt trigger circuit. The other one is using two transistors. In both the cases, the output varies at different levels of the sinusoidal signal known as upper threshold potential and lower threshold potential. At upper threshold potential, the output of square wave generator changes from lower level to higher level, and lower threshold potential, the output of the signal changes from higher level to lower level. Then we have seen the attenuator circuits used in AFO. Generally, a linear resistive attenuator circuits are used in AFO. And then front panel controls and specifications of audio frequency oscillator also we have studied. Front panel of an AFO mainly consists of a provision for continuous adjustment of frequency and provision for adjustment of frequency in steps of decades. Similarly, a knob is provided for continuous variation of amplitude and for range selection in the amplitude, that is multiplied with 1 and multiplied with 10. Then other than that, the selector switch is there, which is used to select the output of sine wave or square wave. Then a on-off switch, LED indicator, and output and external sync input and the display. All these are available on the front panel of a CRO. Sorry, on a front panel of a AF audio frequency oscillator. Coming to the present topic, it is the introduction In this class, we are going to discuss about the introduction to function generator, features of function generator, block diagram of function generator, working of function generator, integrator and Schmidt trigger circuit used in the function generator, then triangular to sine wave conversion circuit. Basically, what is a function generator? A function generator is an electronic test equipment which generates electrical waveforms such as sine wave, square wave, triangular wave, and sawtooth wave, etc., with a wide range of adjustable frequencies. Waveforms can be either repetitive or single shot. Single shot means only one cycle is generated when an external trigger is applied to the circuit. Then the signals are available in both analog and digital types. That is, a function generator provides or produces signals both in analog and digital types. Analog function generators usually generate a triangular waveform as the basis for all of its other circuits. Triangular waveform is the basic waveform that is generated in a function generator. All other waveforms are derived from the triangular waveform. This triangular wave is generated by repeatedly charging and discharging a capacitor from a constant current source, and it produces a linearly ascending or descending voltage ramp. As the output voltage reaches upper and lower limits, the charging and discharging of the capacitor is reversed and different frequencies are obtained by varying current and capacitance. By varying the value of current flowing through the capacitor or by changing the value of the capacitance of the capacitor, different frequencies can be generated using the function generator. And a function generator contains an attenuator and various means of modulating the output waveform. It has the ability to automatically and repetitively sweep the frequency of the output waveform by means of voltage controlled oscillator between two operator determined limits. It has the ability to automatically and repetitively sweep the frequency of the output waveform. That means the function generator has the ability to produce repetitive waveforms over a wide frequency range over a wide frequency range by using a voltage controlled oscillator. And a function generator also provides for evaluation of the frequency response of a given electronic circuit. Any electronic circuit can be tested. That means the performance of any electronic circuit or the frequency response of any electronic circuit can be tested only if those frequency signals are available. So, the function generator plays the key role in testing the frequency response of a given electronic circuit over what range of suppose if we take an amplifier, over what range of frequencies it produces faithful amplification. Suppose if we take a filter circuit, over what range of frequencies it performs filtering action perfectly, like that. Then a function generator is source of AC signal, and it generates various waveforms such as sine wave, square wave, triangular wave, and sawtooth wave, etc. Adjustable frequency over a wide range, starting from a fraction of hertz to several hundreds of kilohertz. That means sine wave signal or square wave signal or triangular wave signal or sawtooth wave signal, whatever may be the shape of the signal, the range also can be varied for each signal, starting from DC to several hundreds of kilohertz. And the signal can be either repetitive or one shot in analog and digital forms. And a function generator produces two waveforms at the same time. Not only two, it can be made to produce three waveforms at a time, that is sinusoidal, triangular, and square wave. Phase locking to an external signal is possible in the function generator. A provision is made in the function generator circuit for external sync. Any external signal is applied through that external sync input to the function generator, and phase locking can be done with an external signal using the function generator. Here is a model of a function generator which is available commercially. As you can see here, here is the knob used for continuous adjustment of frequency, starting from 2 hertz to sorry zero point 0.2 hertz to 2 hertz. Actually, not exactly zero point 0.2 hertz, it is 0.2 to 2.0. It depends on the range selected here. For example, if the range of the frequency is selected to be multiplied with 1, in that case, the output signal frequency is varied from zero point 0.2 Hz to 2 Hz. Suppose if the function switch is selected to multiplied with 10 place, in that case, here the signal frequency variation would be from 2 Hz to 20 Hz. Next stage, 200 Hz to 20 Hz to 200 Hz. Next, 200 Hz to 2 kilohertz, 2 kilohertz to 20 kilohertz, 20 kilohertz to 200 kilohertz. It goes on like that. And here a function select switch is provided, a three-way switch for selecting a sinusoidal signal, a rectangular signal, and a triangular signal. And here DC offset provision also is available in this. That is, if the produced output is consisting of DC also, then that DC can be eliminated and pure AC signal can be made to be available at the output by using a offset voltage. Suppose if there is positive DC offset. Here, by applying negative voltage, we can nullify the DC in the function generator output, and vice versa. When there is a negative DC voltage, then by applying a positive voltage through this knob, we can nullify the DC output in the in the function generator. And amplitude of the signal here can be varied by adjusting this level knob. Then a indicator and power on and off switch. This is one model. And another model here, you can see in this, the frequency is varied continuously from zero point zero 0.05 to 4.0. The previous instrument, that is function generator, it was from zero point 0.2 to 2.0. Here it is 0.05 to 4.0. And a range switch is provided here, multiplied with 10, multiplied with 100, multiplied with 1K, multiplied with 10K, multiplied with 100K, and multiplied with 1 megahertz. So the range of frequencies produced by this instrument is very large when compared with the previous instrument. And you can see the variety of signals that can be produced by using this. A ramp signal is available, a triangular signal is available, a sinusoidal signal is available, a square wave signal is available, a positive pulse is available, and negative pulse also is available. So, by selecting the function switch to any one of these positions, the signal of that particular shape can be made available at the output terminal here. And you can see here the pulse width adjustment. By using this knob, the pulse width also can be adjusted to between 30% to 70% in most of the instruments. And this is sweep rate at which the signal is to be produced. That is, when a sweep signal is produced, then what is the rate of that sweep? At what slope it has to sweep the signal from left to right, or from lower value to higher value, or from higher value to lower value. And that sweep output is separately provided here, because sweep signal is very important signal which is used in most of the applications apart from the other signals. So a separate provision is made for taking out the sweep signal here. And of course, this is for offset null, and the other one is for amplitude adjustment. And this is for external sync signal. That is for the purpose of phase locking. And apart from that, power turn on and turn off switch and power indicator. This is another instrument. And from multi-tech systems, this is what we use in our laboratories. All push button type of switches are available here. For range, in hertz range, multiplied with 10, multiplied with 100, multiplied with 1000, and in kilohertz range, multiplied with 10, multiplied with 100, and multiplied with 1000. That means here this function generator can produce 1 to 10. When you press this push button switch and when you vary this fine frequency knob, you can vary the frequency from 1 to 10. Second stage, 10 to 100, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on, like that 100. Third stage, 100, 200, 300, 400, and so on up to 1000. Fourth switch, 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, and so on up to 10K. Fifth one, 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, and so on up to 100K. Next, last one, 100K, 200K, 300K, 400K, and so on up to 1 megahertz. So starting from 1 hertz to 1 megahertz, it can produce signals of triangular shape, sine wave shape, and square wave shape. By selecting any one of the switch, that particular output is available here. And this is for amplitude range adjustment, multiplied with 1 and multiplied with 10. And here is for continuous adjustment of the amplitude. A potentiometer is provided. And for DC offset arrangement, a knob is provided in order to nullify the DC signal in the associated with the any one of the AC signals. Then VCO input for phase lacking applications. And here we will get train of pulses for TTL TTL circuits. And apart from that, a digital display is provided in this. In previous cases, looking into the scale, we have to do manually the calculations, either this or this. But here, nothing is mentioned on the knobs, scaling is not provided, but the value is available as a digital readout directly, right? Then the very high-end digital function generator. Here you can vary the frequency continuously, or you can input the frequency in terms of numbers, and amplitude can be adjusted, increased or decreased. And this is for trigger, and here is output, and power on, power off, and sine wave, triangular, sine wave, square wave, triangular, pulse, and random noise also can be generated, and different other signals also can be generated. Arbitrary waveform also can be generated, and some other applications also provided in this. Some other provisions also made in this. So that is about different commercially available function generators. Now let us look into the block diagram of the function generator. The function generator mainly consists of an integrator. Mainly consists of an integrator. An integrator consists of R and C. And when constant current is provided through resistance to a capacitor, capacitor charges linearly, either increases or decreases, thus providing a triangular wave. That can be directly taken out to the attenuator when the function select switch is in the middle. That integrator output, that is the triangular wave output, is given to sine wave converter. Then output of sine wave converter can be taken to the attenuator through the function switch. Similarly, the integrator output is given to a Schmitt trigger, which converts triangular wave into a square wave. And using the function switch, we can select this square wave also to the attenuator, and it can be connected to the attenuator. This is the very basic block diagram, just giving the description of what are the basic parts in the function generator. We'll discuss about each part separately. Here, integrator generates triangular wave of adjustable frequency. Then Schmitt trigger converts triangular input into square wave output. Sine wave converter converts triangular input into sine wave output. Selector switch used for selecting one among the three types of outputs, that is sine wave, square wave or triangular wave, to give it to the attenuator. And attenuator provides output signal of variable amplitude. And this is how the output signals appear when they are displayed on a CRO, a sinusoidal signal, a square wave signal, and a triangular wave signal. As you can see, the frequency of all the signals will be the same. Up to here, one cycle ends. Up to here, second cycle ends. Third cycle ends. For all the signals, the frequency is the same. Only thing is change in shape and level of the signal, amplitude of the signal. Now, a detailed circuit diagram of a function generator. The function generator mainly works on this frequency control network, which supplies constant current to an integrator circuit through upper constant current source or lower constant current source. Through upper constant current source, a positive current is supplied. Through lower constant current source, negative current is supplied. That means upper constant current source will source the current. That means it will mm, allow the current to flow into the capacitor. Lower constant current source, it will sink the current flowing from the capacitor into it. Right? Now, let us look into the other parts first. Here is integrator using operational amplifier and a capacitor. Then voltage comparator multivibrator. Naturally, this would be a linear wave shaping circuit or a Schmitt trigger circuit. And the other one is resistance diode shaping circuit, which converts triangular wave signal into a sinusoidal signal. Now, a function switch is provided here, which which connects the square wave output to the output amplifier, and that can be taken out. Similarly, another function switch is provided, which provides sinusoidal signal from the function generator to output amplifier. And of course, the triangular wave signal from the output of comparator can be directly taken at the output. Now, let us try to analyze the working of this circuit, how it functions. Let us suppose that power supply is switched off initially, and here the voltage on the capacitor is 0, and when the supply is provided here, then because of this supply, and here you can see by adjusting this potentiometer, you can vary the power supply to the constant current source. The more the voltage, the more the current flowing through the circuit. Here simply resistive networks will be available in this. So by adjusting this power supply or the voltage value, you can adjust the amplitude of current, and by adjusting the amplitude of current, you can adjust the slope of the ramp or the slope of the triangular wave. Charging and discharging times you can control. That means you can control the frequency of the triangular wave. The basic signal that is available in the function generator is triangular wave. So by adjusting this potentiometer, you can adjust the frequency of the triangular wave, and hence you can adjust the frequency of the rectangular wave or sinusoidal wave. Now let us suppose that initially the voltage on the capacitor is 0. When the voltage on the capacitor is 0 and when the power supply is turned on, upper current source will provide current to flow through the capacitor. So current flows from left to right in the diagram through the capacitor. So capacitor starts charging. When capacitor starts charging, then a ramp will the positive slope ramp of the triangular wave is generated. Next, once the capacitor charges to the full value, once the capacitor charges to the full value, here when the capacitor is charging, here you will get a control signal at the output of voltage comparator multivibrator, which is nothing but a square wave. When here the capacitor is charging, here the output voltage will be positive. When the output voltage is positive here, the upper constant current source will keep on providing positive current. Capacitor starts charging in the positive direction. Once the capacitor charges to the full value, then the voltage comparator multivibrator will change its output from the positive level to the negative level. That means from here to here. In that case, what happens? This upper constant current source is turned off and lower constant current source will turn on. Now what happens? The capacitor, which has charged to its maximum value, now starts discharging in the opposite direction. That means current starts flowing from right to left, that is in the opposite direction. Now what happens? Current will flow into the lower constant current source. So it acts as a sink. The upper constant current source acts as a source. This acts as a sink. Now this negative cycle continues till the capacitor voltage becomes 0. The moment voltage on the capacitor becomes 0, here the output of voltage comparator multivibrator once again goes high. When the voltage comparator multivibrator output is high, then lower constant current source is turned off and upper constant current source is turned on. Then what happens? Once again, because the voltage on capacitor is 0 now and the positive current is applied to the capacitor, capacitor starts next positive cycle, that is low to high. And the moment capacitor charges to full value, once again here the output of the voltage comparator multivibrator will change from high to low, which turns off the upper constant current source and turns on the lower constant current source. Now capacitor starts discharging in the negative portion of its second cycle. That is how continuously the voltage on the capacitor will go on increase, decrease, thus producing a triangular waveform. And that triangular waveform will provide a rectangular or square wave output here at the output of the voltage controlled multivibrator, voltage comparator multivibrator. I'm sorry, is not controlled. It is voltage comparator multivibrator. Compares the values of two levels of voltages in this. The circuit is not shown here. Just we have to take it as, we have to assume it as it compares two voltages, and based on that it produces the positive voltage or negative voltage at the output. Then a resistance diode shaping circuit is used here to convert the triangular wave into a sinusoidal wave. By closing this switch here, switch 2, this sinusoidal signal is given to output of the amplifier 2, and you can take the output here. Similarly, by closing the switch 1, S1, the output of the voltage comparator multivibrator, that is a square wave, is applied to operation output amplifier A1, and the output is made available. So is that clear? The basic principle in the generation of function generator is simple charging and discharging of the capacitor. And by this arrangement, we can get triangular wave, and by proper wave shaping, we can get a square wave as well as sinusoidal wave. Now, what is the function of this potentiometer? As I already told, it provides or it varies the current flowing through the capacitor. So the higher the current, the lesser is the time the capacitor takes to charge to its maximum value. So its charging time will be less. Obviously, discharging time also would be less. What happens? The cycle time period decreases and frequency increases. So by increasing the supply voltage here, you can increase the frequency. By decreasing the supply voltage here, you can decrease the frequency. So that is about the working of the function generator. Let us see here. The main blocks present in the function generator are frequency control network. That is the first one, this one. Upper and lower constant current sources. Upper and lower constant current sources. Integrator, this is the integrator. Voltage comparator multivibrator or Smith trigger circuit, this one. Sine wave converter, this is the sine wave converter. Resistance diode shaping circuit is the sine wave converter. And output amplifiers. Through switches, output amplifiers are connected to rectangular or a square wave or sine wave outputs. Operational amplifier is used as integrator to generate triangular waveform. The frequency of function generator output is controlled by varying the magnitude of the current produced by the current sources which drives the integrator. The higher the current, the lesser is the time period, the more is the frequency. Vice versa. The lower the current, the higher is the time period and lesser is the frequency. The frequency controlled voltage regulates the two constant current sources. That is this one here. This controls the two constant current sources. The integrator output voltage increases linearly with time when constant current is supplied by the upper current source. The formula is E out. This we should have studied in the basics of electronics itself. That is electronic circuit components, very first unit in the first semester. E out is equal to, that is the voltage on the capacitor is minus 1 by C integral 0 to T I dt. What is 0 to T? The time period of the triangular wave signal. Here we will get a what we say linear ramp signal. Linear ramp signal. During positive it will go up, during negative it will come down. Change in current changes the slope of the output voltage and hence controls the frequency. Right? Increase in amplitude, increase in current, increase in time period, decrease in time period and increase in frequency. Decrease in current, increase in time period and decrease in frequency. The voltage comparator changes its state at maximum level of the integrator output voltage. Maximum level of the integrator output voltage. At this portion, it changes its output from high to low. This state change cuts off the upper constant current source and switches on the lower current source to supply reverse current to the integrator. Reverse current to the integrator. The integrator output decreases with time to a minimum level and the comparator again changes its state and switches on the upper constant current source and the cycle repeats and the cycle repeats. The output of the integrator is a triangular waveform whose frequency is determined by the magnitude of the current supplied by the constant current sources, which in turn controlled by the current frequency control network. The voltage comparator, that is Smith trigger or circuit output, which is used to switch over the function of two current sources between UTP and LTP points, gives a square wave output. Right? The Smith trigger function is to convert to convert triangular wave into square wave. Not only triangular wave, any other shape would be converted into sine wave using Smith trigger circuit, using upper threshold potential and lower threshold potentials. It is a comparator circuit as such, with a negative feedback. The square wave has the same frequency as the triangular wave, which drives the output of the amplifier. The amplified square wave output is provided by the output amplifier. Amplified square wave output is provided by the output amplifier when the switch is connected to the square wave output of the function generator. Wave shaping circuits are used to convert triangular wave to sine wave. A resistance diode wave shaping circuit is used for this purpose. It alters the slope of the triangular wave as its amplitude changes and generates a sine wave output which drives the output amplifier. The output amplifier provides amplified sine wave with less than 1% distortion. The circuit for this we will see later. Now, first thing, the circuit of the integrator and Smith trigger circuit. The integrator and Smith trigger circuit. Now, let us look into a little detailed circuit here. Already we have seen one circuit, the overall circuit of the function generator. Here only a part of the circuit, that is integrator with Smith trigger, that is a triangular wave output is converted into a pulse or square wave output. As you can see here, when the power supply is switched off, when the power supply is switched off, then there is no voltage on the capacitor. When you switch on the power supply, then what happens? Here, the operational amplifier in the Smith trigger, inverting input is at ground potential and non-inverting input is at ideally zero, but practically may not be zero. So here the comparator produces a high output. Initially the output would be high, and that high output is given as excitation to the integrator circuit through a potentiometer. In the previous circuit, it has been shown separately as a frequency uh, control network. Now here you can see that the output is derived from the output of the Smith trigger itself. Using a potentiometer, of course, you can adjust the current through the capacitor C1. Now here if you see, what is the current I2? I2 is nothing but the voltage across this potentiometer wiper and ground, that is V1, divided by resistance R2. V1 by R2 is I2. That I2, it will not flow into the operational amplifier because operational amplifier is having infinite impedance, and this terminal is at virtual ground. Total current flows into the capacitor only. No current enters into the operational amplifier. So a current of V1 by R2 flows through the capacitor, and the capacitor starts charging in this direction, that is positive here and negative here. Now when you look from the output here, that is when you see it as V2, then V2 appears to be negative here and positive here. Negative and positive is of course at virtual ground. So this charging of the capacitor, when you look from output, it appears to be negative going ramp. It appears to be negative going ramp. So during the charging of capacitor, the Smith trigger output would be high, and at one particular voltage of ramp, when the voltage falls below LTP, lower threshold potential, here, when the voltage here falls below lower threshold potential. Now here the voltage is V2 and here the voltage is V3. Now what is the voltage available here? Here you have to find out the voltage using superposition principle. That is, let us assume that V2 is 0 for some time and it is V3 by R4 plus R3 into R3, plus assume V3 to be 0, then V2 by R3 plus R4 into R4. That is the voltage available here using superposition theorem. So when that voltage is less than LTP, then this comparator output goes low. That is, high to low transition takes place. When the voltage here now becomes negative, then naturally here the supplied voltage also becomes negative. For negative voltages, what happens? The capacitor now starts discharging in the opposite direction. That means when capacitor is discharging like this, the potential here is plus and here is minus. Current will flow in the opposite direction, discharging current. So looking at the output, you can see positive here and negative here. So obviously it will be a positive going ramp. So during the positive going ramp, the output of the Smith trigger will be low. Now, till what time it continues to remain low? Till the voltage on capacitor increases to certain level at which this input is greater than UTP. When this input is greater than UTP, then the output voltage goes high once again. When the output voltage goes high here, then once again here the voltage becomes positive. So previously the current was flowing in this direction, that let us call it as a negative current. Now because of the positive supply it becomes a positive current. So it starts charging in the opposite direction. Current starts flowing in the opposite direction, and capacitor also starts charging in the opposite direction. So that is how once again capacitor starts, the voltage on capacitor once again appears to be a negative going ramp. Once again after LTP, after the voltage on capacitor falls below LTP, then the output will change, and it changes from high to low, and capacitor starts discharging. So this is a continuous process. This is a continuous process. Except for biasing voltage, there is no external excitation to the circuit. Only biasing voltages are there. And the input to the circuit is derived from the output of this integrator. Smith trigger. That is how you can generate a square wave and a rectangular wave using this arrangement. Integrator provides a triangular wave. Sorry, integrator provides a triangular wave, and in response to the triangular wave, the Smith trigger produces a square wave output. Is that clear? So basically, two parts are there. One is integrator. The second one is Smith trigger. The input to the integrator is taken out from Smith trigger, and using a potentiometer, a fraction of that input is applied to the non-inverting terminal of the operational amplifier, first operational amplifier. Is that clear? Okay, let us see. Working of the integrator and voltage comparator circuit. First, integrator circuit. Operational amplifier, which is not operational amplifier, is used as integrator that generates triangular wave. In the circuit, when V1 is positive, current I2 is given by the expression I2 is equal to V1 by R2. That I have shown already. This is V1 and this is the resistance in the path of current. So naturally it is V1 by R2. I2 charges C1 positively on left and negatively on right, results in op-amp output voltage decreases linearly. Positive on left and negative on right. That is why here it appears to be a negative going ramp, looking from the output. But voltage on capacitor is positive going ramp only. Decreases, output voltage decreases linearly. When V1 is negative, I2 is reversed and C1 charges with opposite polarity, negative on the left and positive on the right. I have explained it how. When the voltage falls below LTP, the output changes. The output of the Smith trigger changes from high to low, and that negative voltage is used as input to the integrator. So because of the negative voltage, current starts flowing in the opposite direction. Now it appears to be a positive going ramp at the output of operational amplifier. This results in an op-amp output voltage increases linearly and the cycle repeats. The output waveform is triangular and frequency is determined by the time t for C1 to charge from UTP to LTP and vice versa. That is from LTP to UTP. And how much is that time? That time can be derived from the equation for charge on capacitor. For any capacitor, the equation for charge is given as either I into T or C into V. So here I2 into T is equal to C1 into delta V. That is that. What is the delta V? Delta V once again is upper threshold potential minus lower threshold potential. So based on this, the time period can be found out and hence the frequency can also be found out. And range selection and continuous variation of signal frequency. Now here in the function generators which were available commercially, we have seen that different frequency select switches are there. And similarly, continuous or fine adjustment frequency also was there. How that was achieved? That means instead of using a single capacitor, here multiple capacitors with different frequencies with different capacitance values are used, and by using this range select switch, any one of the capacitor is chosen. So depending upon the value of capacitance, the charging time and discharging time will change. That is, the frequency will change. This is for range adjustment of frequency. For fine adjustment of frequency, this potentiometer is used. That is, within one particular range, say when capacitor C1 is selected, then by adjusting the value of R2, you can vary the frequency from lower end to the higher end. Similarly, when capacitance C2 is selected, by adjusting the value of resistance R1, it can be varied from low to high. That is how we can vary the frequency in coarse adjustment and fine adjustment also by using variable capacitor and a variable by adjusting multiple number of capacitors selected by a range switch and by using a variable resistor, that is a potentiometer. The frequency range selection is obtained by switching different capacitor values such as C1, C2, C3, etc. through a frequency range selector switch on the front panel of the function generator. We have seen this on the front panel of the commercially available function generator. Similarly, continuous variation of frequency within the selected range is obtained by adjusting potentiometer R1, which is connected to the vernier dial or frequency change on the front panel of the function generator. So for continuous adjustment of frequency, this potentiometer is connected to the front dial. That is how we can get the continuous variation of frequency in the given range, in the selected range. Suppose if 10 Hz range is selected, starting from 1 Hz to 10 Hz. By adjusting the resistance R1, it can be varied. Similarly, if 1 kHz switch is selected, capacitor pertaining to 1 kHz range is selected. In that case, starting from 100 Hz, 200 Hz, 300 and so on up to 1 kHz. That is how the frequency can be adjusted continuously. Then working of Schmidt trigger and working of sine wave to square wave, sorry, working of triangular wave to sine wave circuits, we will see in the next class. Thank you.